Welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 250,000 subscribers. So make sure to subscribe, don't unsubscribe, and make sure to watch and watch to the end, because things that we talk about here are important and they're going to remain important for at least the next 4 years. And I want to talk to you about, after Trump posting about this new tariff plan earlier this week that they're thinking about, my co-host Ben Meiselas and I on Political Beatdown, we wanted to discuss what these new trade restrictions will truly mean for our country, what it's going to really mean for you and for me. And we talked about everything, for example, from lumber costs, which of course is one of the chief exports from Canada to the United States, to how drugs are shipped on the black market. This is really important stuff in order to fully understand exactly just how bad this concept of the tariff is, despite the fact that they sold it as the way to fix our national debt and a way that none of us will have to ever pay taxes again. Not true. Play the clip.
Okay.
You know, Ben, I think one of the biggest mistakes that Democrats made in this election is they didn't get down to the nitty-gritty. And that's something that you, my brigading family, are going to get from Ben and I. Sometimes you'll like what it is that I say. Other times you won't like what I say. But one thing for certain that you will know, you are getting facts. You're not getting innuendo. Now, there's always different ways to read facts, but let me give you this one. You know that the number one most Googled question right after the election, the number one, and you can look this up, what is a tariff? So I want you to imagine that there are millions and millions of people, of the 76 million people who voted for Trump, 76 million, there is millions that didn't even know what the hell a tariff was. But yet they're talking about, they're voting for somebody based upon his claims that he is going to get rid of taxes altogether, and that because tariffs are going to be so financially beneficial to everybody, mostly meaning the middle and lower class, that this is the smartest thing to do. And they voted for him. They believed this line of bullshit, despite how many times Ben and I turned around and said to each and every one of you that 27 out of 29 top economists here in the United States all said that tariffs will cause a recession in this country, that people don't understand the way that it works. Let me break it down for you. Go to Canada. What's one of Canada's biggest items of deportation to the United States? Wood, lumber. All right. So let's say a 2x4 costs you $10. Well, if there's a 25% tariff on it, the cost to the producer is now $12.50, within which to sell it to the wholesaler, because much of this wood goes through what's called pre-sale contracts. All right. I don't want to get too deep into this, but the pre-sale contracts, they're now paying $12.50. All right, in order to get the same $10 piece from Canada. All right, now the wholesaler has to sell it to a distributor. So the distributor now is paying 25% tariff on the $12.50 item, not on the $10. So that basically it compounds. And then that person has to make his profit, because otherwise, what are they in business for? And they then sell it to the retailer, who then, of course, has to mark it up for their profit. And their profit is always 100%. So if they're paying $15 for that piece, they're selling it for $30. All right. Now imagine this. Who does it get sold to? Who's going to eat the cost of all of this tariff bullshit at the end of the day? Come on. The answer? The consumer. It's always the consumer who pays. What do you think? That consumer is going to get it at $10 and everybody else is going to lose? It becomes more like 175% of the original price. That means we get fucked. Don't you understand? And nobody explained this. And it's not a difficult concept to understand. Any good. By the way, in 2017, you'll remember Trump put tariffs on aluminum with Canada. And when he realized, holy shit, now I can't get my Diet Coke, and all of a sudden Coca-Cola is going through this, and this one, he gave them passes where they didn't have to pay it. He gave them a reprieve. All the companies ended up getting that. It didn't work in 2017. It's not going to work in 2024. It makes no sense. 27 of 29 economists agree with yours truly. You know, what most people don't realize is that a lot of the drugs are brought into this country in very different ways than what we remember from, say, like the 90s when they were smuggling in cocaine, right? How Miami was built, right? Remember that from Scarface, or, heroin trade, which was going on, for example, in American Gangster, the Denzel Washington movie, or how they used to do marijuana earlier on. There was a book that I read when I was in prison called American Kingpin, and it's by this guy Bilton. It talks about Ross Ulbricht. Remember the size of fentanyl. You're talking about, it's the size of a Tic Tac. So what they do is they use the dark web, and they're actually mailing it one pill at a time. That's how Ross Ulbricht, with his dark web site, ended up getting caught, and how he ended up going to prison himself. This is how it's coming in. He makes it seem as if though you've got these thousands and thousands of migrants each and every day. Thousands of migrants are coming in. They're flooding our borders. They're all carrying nothing but drugs, lots of drugs. They're all drug dealers. That's not true. It's not true. Technology has made this business sophisticated. They drop this shit in the mail the same way that you get like your ED medication or your hair medication. That's how they're dropping it. I mean, so the whole thing is pure and utter bullshit. Not to mention, as Ben said correctly, much of this shit is being made here in the United States. So please understand, just because they throw out this information doesn't mean that we have to buy it. And that's why Midas Touch Network, why Political Beatdown, why my YouTube channel, and I ask each and every one of you, go subscribe to it now, The Michael Cohen Show, where I break down the tariffs and all of this stuff in like 8 to 10 minute segments. But I'm trying to explain the importance of Midas Touch Network and shows like this. We must build a larger community. Every time that we are on, we need more and more in the community, because I assure you, based upon the people that Trump is nominating, there's going to be much to talk about, but more importantly, there's going to be a lot for us to do. So together as a community, our voices will not be able to be ignored. And that's why I thank each and every one of you every week for joining us, and share this with your friends. Share my YouTube channel. Share all the Midas Touch Network properties. It's important, including, yes, my Mea Culpa podcast. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.